This week, we did something very exciting. We celebrated the Hour of Code. Alright, so schools all over the world are participating in Hour of Code this week, where tens of millions of students in over 180 countries will share a common goal of getting in that 1 hour of coding experience. I went around checking out to see what some educators and students are doing to make the most of their time learning the code. On this quick field trip, we visit 3 schools and check out what they're doing to celebrate Computer Science Education Week. Hey, how's it going?
Oh, great, thanks.
What are you guys up to?
Hey kids, what are we up to?
So this week we're celebrating computer science education with the Hour of Code. What has the reception been like since you started this?
Well, this is my second year doing it here at Pioneer. Last year was a big success. The kids really enjoyed it when they heard Hour of Code was coming back. Everybody was very excited. They are having a lot of fun with it right now, and it's been great.
Awesome.
So I started with Hour of Code about 3 years ago, and each year it's grown exponentially. This year I've used Hour of Code and turned it into Month of Code at Tibbet. So during the month of December, I invite teachers to sign up for my open times during the week. They come down either for a half-hour time or an hour of time that we use to give the kids exposure to Hour of Code. So they're either choosing that actual Hour of Code activities produced by code.org, or we're doing the coding apps that I have on our iPads, or they can use code to control our Dash robots.
Since I started this, my students have been really receptive. Everyone's been very interested in getting started with the activities, and they're celebrating their successes and frustrated when they're not able to do something correctly, but they're really willing to get started all over again. So it's been really well. I've been really, really pleased with how they've reacted to it.
Speaking of making and creating, do you remember the first thing you've ever made on the computer?
Yeah, I was in 6th grade, and we finally got like some computers in our school, and they had this old Photoshop program, which is not the Photoshop of today. It was more of just a graphic design program where you could pick clip art and you could make banners, and because the printers that we had at the time, all the paper was perforated and crisscrossed, and you could make these really long banners for your friends that said like happy birthday, or you could make a sign, keep out of Aaron's room. But that's what I made. It wasn't really anything special, but that's what I made.
The first thing I've made on the computer was probably some sort of banner that was very pixelated, I think, and it was on computer paper that was like accordion style that pulled out of the printer, because that's what the printer paper was like. So yeah, I think it was some kind of happy birthday banner or something to that effect.
I can remember as a kid having a Commodore 64 computer. I believe that ran on BASIC, and there was a little thing that had you teaching you how to program, and so I did something like I typed hello and then did a repeat, and so it said hello, 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 hello all down the screen. That was the first thing I can remember doing. I do remember doing that, and unfortunately I haven't done a whole lot of programming since then. But
Yeah, quite
these
a
guys will,
difference, right?
yes, these guys will hopefully follow on a little farther than I did.
How do you feel this differs from how kids are learning how to do things on computers today?
It is totally different. They're making things, they're creating things, they're learning, and I feel like when I was in school, all I used a computer for was word processing and writing papers, where now they're doing research, they're interacting with other people that aren't even in the same room with them. They can be across town, across country, all over the place, and they're able to communicate instantly and get feedback instantly, and they're really able to do so much more than I was.
Well, with this Hour of Code, what makes it so great is all these tutorials that have these fun games that you can do. So it's some games that they're familiar with already, and they get to manipulate it and do all sorts of things, and it makes it a lot more accessible to them, and a lot more fun as well.
So it's very different. You know, I was making a poster, but kids are now creating and controlling what they're learning, and they are creating using the code, and some of them have even created, you know, they follow the hour of code and they get Moana from where she needs to go in the water and to fight the enemies. But some of the kids have actually even taken it even further, and by being inspired by Hour of Code, they have started making things on Tinkercad that we can make on real life in our 3D printer, and they've taken it that much further. So kids are controlling what they're learning, and they are being the producers of their future.
Why is coding so important today?
It's opening doors for other developments, other things to be made, and what these students are learning now and what they're doing now is going to open doors for them in the future. So as far as their education, they're able to do so much more with it now than they ever were before.
Coding is so important because we are training kids for jobs that don't exist yet. They will be able to create their own jobs. When I was in 6th grade or 5th grade, there was no thing as there was no internet, and now we have people who are making a living being YouTubers, and that was never dreamed about. So the kids that we have in our school right now are digital natives. They grew up with computers, and they will use those computers to create the industries of the future, and they will use what they are learning today to solve the problems of tomorrow.
Computers are in every parts of our lives, and they just get more and more so. And so in the future, it just stands to reason that a lot of the jobs are going to be the people who can design computers, tell computers what to do, and that's definitely where we're going in the future.
Awesome. Can we check out what the kids are doing?
Absolutely.
So why do you like Hour of Code?
Well, I like it because sometimes like you get a program, some games sometimes, like Minecraft right here, you get a program what your character does. And it's really cool. I think that some kids will get to learn how they want to be a computer programmer when they grow up.
I like Hour of Code because some kids can actually learn how to use computer and some computer language, and also you can customize things and do different stuff on Hour of Code. I'm learning a little bit of the language of the computer, and I'm also learning how to use Hour of Code on an actual laptop.
I like it because it's a challenge. And it challenges you to think of what's gonna happen next if you choose that. And so that's why. And I just finished a level and it took me a lot of tries. So you have to really think about what you're doing.
Because it's not just you have to create something. That this is, you can create whatever you want. It's not just you have to get something. Yeah, you can do whatever you want with it.
We're learning how to make and create using code. And for example, we're using basic coding to get Moana here to there. I like how you can just be so creative and let your imagination rip, and then you can just do whatever you want in Hour of Code, make whatever you want, and you have the freedom to.
I like how there's different games that you can play in Hour of Code to command the little characters to do something, to do what you want them to do.
Using the coding box to move the person or player from here from point A to point B.
Learning and playing Hour of Code, because that's what elevates me to learn and play games at the same time. This is like other games. It's not just like any other games that you just have to get special goals. You can actually achieve what you want. And doing coding can help you with many jobs. Creating your own movies, video games, anything.
As you can see, the impact of Hour of Code has been tremendous. Kids everywhere are learning how to create in ways that were foreign to many of us when we were their age. Interested in participating in Hour of Code or want more information? Visit hourofcode.com, register and pledge your participation, get great resources for you and your students, or just learn more about coding. Check out the links below, hit that like button, and I'll catch you on the next trip.